Chenault is now the host.
He's now the host. Hello. Hello, Tom. How are you?
That didn't look like Tom.
Yes, it's.
That's why I said it.
Hello, Marianne.
Hello, this is Maria Isabel Rittman.
Hello. All right, welcome you guys. I have this alarm going off in my ears on my phone here.
That's right.
For some reason, usually I can dismiss it, but I can't find out.
Everything can be quieted down with a hammer.
Yeah, right? All righty. It's done. Thank goodness.
Drop it in a bucket of water. Quietens them up real quick.
Yes, I will. All right. Wow, we got a bunch of people on here today. This is awesome.
20.
20. Yeah. Very cool. I bet we'll get a few more here in the next couple minutes too.
That'd be good.
All right.
So is the snow melted out there, Marianne?
You know, I have to stand up to look outside. So there's no, it just was hitting the ground and melting right away. Now, that could be a whole different story up in the mountains, though. That probably came down and it probably stayed.
Yeah.
So, but mostly, it's just been flurrying and raining on and off all day. I can't believe it. Yesterday, it was in the 70s.
I was visiting a friend Saturday up in the mountains. Beautiful day, no snow. The day before, his friend totaled his car out coming down the mountains into an oak tree. Just a sheet of ice. So it's just overnight, everything melted. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. But he didn't get hurt. He was fortunate.
Oh, good.
So that was good. It's just a car.
Hello, Ruth Ellen. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Hanny and Angie and Colleen. Woo. Nick.
I still feel like romper room.
This reminds me of Hollywood Squares. That's what it always reminds me of.
Hi, Marianne.
Who's that?
Nick.
Nick. Oh, hey, Nick.
Yeah.
I couldn't see your mouth moving because you got your mustache. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Now I can see it move. Yeah. See, I couldn't see it moving. I was like, who's talking to me? Oh, there's Tommy. All right, Tommy, I'm going to get you on the big screen.
Hello, Ann.
30 seconds. Who's that, Barbara?
This is
Yes.
This is Isabel. Maria
Alan,
G'day, Tom.
Alan Sickle. You have no idea who this guy is, everybody. Unbelievable.
All of a sudden, everybody's voice slowed down.
I took a shower and combed my hair. You guys think you can be proud of me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Adrian looks
I can't believe it either. Good golly, there's a lot of people on here for starters. Look at old Cheryl Morley. What a nice surprise. Pamela Schwartz, I nominated you for something big today. There's network marketing legend Nick Mandaris, unbelievable guy, been around 100 years, was the entrepreneur for Ernst & Young at one point in his life, just incredibly handsome man. Let's see what else we got here. This is exciting. It's so good to see all of you.
Yeah,
Alan,
good to see you too, Tom.
So inspired to see you guys. You guys will see his picture he is a legend in network marketing himself. So that's pretty cool news. Adrian's messing with the screen, so don't get too worried about that. I'm trying to train the kid. He combed his hair too. That's very exciting. So I want to start this out. We might as well get going. And Alan, I'll text you the, I don't know if you got the beta, but I want to make sure you've got it. Nick Mangiaris, same thing. This contact mapping, we're just launching this. And it has been a long time coming. I have been contact mapping people as far back as 1969, believe it or not. That's when I first ran into a guy and realized that contact mapping was what I needed to do for the rest of my life. And it was something that I did accidentally, something that I was doing intuitively, but I found out that the more I remembered about people, the more they liked me. And it's a miracle. I still can't believe it, because I'm not a very likable guy. I'm kind of a great place to visit, but you don't want to live there. And as a result of that, but I'm one of those guys that you really can't get to until there's my wife. Say hi to everybody, honey. You beautiful little thing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, now go back and clean the house some more. No, I'm kidding. She's like doing all the work around here. So anyway, I am going to tell you guys that we have built an app completely on what made me successful many years ago. And that is so important to know, because it has proven through the test of time. And it has weathered every storm. You guys know I was a train wreck. I was a horrible alcoholic. I was a horrible everything. As a stockbroker, as badly as they wanted to get rid of me, they couldn't fire me because my book, my Rolodex, was so big that they just couldn't get rid of me because I had so much power in my Rolodex. It was the same thing when I was an airplane salesman. I kept the contacts. So I moved my contacts from the restaurant business where I was to the airplane business where I was. And I got all those people that came in the restaurant to look at airplanes. And then the airplane people, I went into the brokerage business. And all I did was move those contacts the same place, because I have friends of mine, good friends of mine, that Adrian will tell you about, that I have since second, third grade. I mean, all my life, these friends. And I stay in contact with them as best I could. Over the last 90 days, I have taken that up 25%. I had no idea how much better I could get at follow-up and contact mapping and staying close to my friends. A guy named Sean Murphy just told me a couple of seconds ago that, because I mentioned on an earlier Zoom a couple of minutes ago, a Facebook Live, that I came off of a dairy farm. That's where my life started. And he wrote down that he, as a child, had 200 head of cattle on a dairy farm in his family. That's something I'm going to put in my phone. And it's something that when I see him one of these days, I'm going to bring that up to him, or I'm going to run into somebody one of these days. Moo, that's funny. One of these days I'm going to run into somebody and they're going to say, well, do you know anybody, the state of Arkansas. Arkansas kicks out some multi-level marketers. And I didn't know that. And so I was talking to a guy named Austin Zuloff. And Austin Zuloff said, Tom, I think you need to know how many good network marketers that are household names came out of Arkansas. And he opened up his phone and he typed in the word, he had it in a database, and he just wrote down all the people from Arkansas that are now huge network marketers. And that was contact mapping. So if I would have had huge network marketer like Alan Sickman contact mapped in that database, along with the state of Arkansas, all I would have had to do was put huge MLMer and Arkansas, and everybody, I would have had a list just like like Austin Zuloff. So all I'm telling you is the person with the most information wins. And I have been carrying this around pretty good in my database, pretty good in all my notes and scattered around in yellow stickies everywhere, pretty good in my brain, but I didn't have it digitized, and I had an unbelievable system, but I had no idea what unbelievable is. And so in the earlier Zoom, I won't belabor all of you with that story again, but I want you to go watch that fried chicken video I just did, because I thought I thought I knew what fried chicken was until somebody really knew how to make fried chicken. And then it went up about 14 notches all the way to my mother-in-law's fried chicken, which was darn good. And then Adrian Chenault figured out a recipe and it was even better. But at the point I'm trying to make to you is great can always get greater. Whether it's your conventions that can always get greater if you're refusing not to live in the box of being at the best, all you can do is improve. So, Adrian, I think I killed the cow here, but that's a dairy joke. But tell me a story. How's it going? Tell these people what it really is, where to find it, how it works, and let's go.
Yeah, awesome. Hi, everybody. Hope you are all doing well. This is so exciting, and we're actually going to do a little demo with you guys here in a minute. But we are right on the cusp of putting out this beta version of the app that we want all of you to be in it, and we want you to be using it and trying it, and we think it's going to change your life. And we've had about 20 people, most of whom are 65 Days in a Wake Up graduates, who have been testing it out and playing around with this over the last couple of weeks and have been tremendously helpful to us in working out some bugs and getting it out there tested with a smaller population who we knew really get it. And Pamela has been one of them. I see her dancing over there, and she has been tremendous every step of the way. But we are ready to turn this thing loose with all of you guys. And 65 Days in a Wake Up is built right into it. We are going to get this thing out. So we'll be sending out a couple of emails here shortly. The app's going to be ready for you to download probably on Monday of next week. So we still got a few more days. We wanted to give everybody the chance to get signed up so that we've got everybody ready to go, and we can push that out to the whole community all at once. But we are right on the cusp of this thing, and we're going to share some content with you on how to use it, on how to install it, on all that kind of stuff to make it as easy for you as possible. But we need you in there. We need you. So the easiest way to do it is if you go to 65 Days in a Wake Up, pinned right up at the top is a post from Dad earlier today. And there's a link right there in the comments where you can go to our website, and we just need a few details from you in order to put you in the beta. So make sure you do that. And we are going to turn this thing loose with you guys. So I think the best thing.
Most of these, Adrian, a huge amount of people aren't in 65 and a Wake Up. So we've got to stick it on my Facebook wall because these are friends of mine that are not in that group.
Perfect. I think
So
it's
somebody-
on your Facebook wall.
What's that?
Already on your Facebook wall.
It's on my Facebook wall too?
Yeah, you put it on your Facebook wall.
Okay, so it's there. Yeah.
I'm also gonna put a link in here right now in the chat on this Zoom. So if you can see the chat going by, I'm gonna put it there right now so that you guys are aware of that. So I'll have that there in just a minute. I'm the world's worst multitasker, so if I start typing while I'm talking, it's gonna go badly for everyone. But what I want to do first is I think it would be great to show it to you guys. And what I want to do to show it to you is I'm actually going to tell you a story of this beautiful haircut that I got, which I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So that's good. That's a good endorsement for my lovely hairstylist whose name is Lexi. So hold on a second. I got to pull this thing up so I can show you my phone, and we're going to have some fun. Give me a second here. If this works the first try, it's going to be a Christmas miracle. Let's see. It works. Oh my God. Can you see it? No? No.
Yeah, we can see your wall.
You can see my screen?
It's saying choose Wi-Fi network, and you're scratching all over it and all kinds of jazz.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's not what we want. Hold on. There we go. Now you're seeing it. You got me?
Yep.
How did I draw all over it? That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can erase that. How about that?
Cool.
Technological marvel. Okay, so here we go. Did it disappear, or can you guys
No,
still
we got it.
All right. So my hairstylist's name is Lexi, and she is a real nice gal. And so I went and saw her 3 weeks ago, and I get my haircut every 3 weeks. And so as I walked into Floyd's 99 Barbershop today, somebody's drawing on the screen. I don't know who's doing that, but try not to. So I walked in there today, and as I walked in, I tapped on her name, Lexi, and I pulled her up. So here's Lexi. I am not slick like Tom, and I didn't try to sneakily take her picture because I thought it might creep her out. And so, but I have a note on her, and I remember what she looks like. So I walked in there today, and as I'm walking in, this is what I remembered about her from the last time we talked. So she's from Castle Rock, which is down there where Robert Estes lives. Last time we were in there, she was like all over this big health kick. She had just gone keto. She had bought a Fitbit. She was getting ready to go to San Diego for her 1-year anniversary with her boyfriend, playing Frisbee golf. Was talking about some health stuff she has going on, all this kind of stuff. So I got all these touch points on Lexi. And so I walked back in there before as I'm walking in there, I pulled her up and looked at her on the way in the door. So then, as I'm walking in, a couple of days ago on April 20th, so 4 days ago, I had set my reminder that I needed to make myself a haircut appointment. So I set it up on Lexi. So it pops up, and 4 days ago, I got the reminder, here's Lexi that I need to go in and talk to. And so it's been sitting there for 4 days while I've been waiting for this appointment. So I just had my conversation with her right before I went and saw her. And I set my time, and so here I am. So I just had my follow-up with Lexi. So I'm going to mark it as done. And now it's going to pop me up, and it's going to say, what do you know about Lexi? So it's going to ask me to now map my next interaction that I had with her because I just went and had a haircut with her today. So here we go. I just went and saw Lexi for a haircut today, period. She leaves on Saturday for her trip to San Diego, period. She lasted about a week on keto, comma. She did not like the way she felt and learned some more about the way that keto interacts with her hormones. And so she's working through that with her doctor, period. However, comma, she learned about her interaction with gluten and dairy and a whole host of things and is really exploring around health, period. Is passionate about getting in shape as she goes on this beach vacation, period. We'll follow up with her when she gets back and hear how that went. So that's all dictated within 30 seconds into the app, right? So every time that you're meeting with somebody, whether it's a brand new person or somebody that you have met with a bunch of times, are you guys seeing this on the screen, by the way?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, perfect, just making sure. So every time you meet with somebody and you interact with them, that's what you want to do. You save it as soon as you walk out. So now I've saved that note, and it's now going to prompt me to do my next follow-up with her. And so I do my haircut every 3 weeks, so I'm going to put it out into early May, and off we go. So that's now saved. She's mapped, and that's where we go. So now what you're looking at is the home screen of the app. And what you can see there is that every day your goal is to map 2 people, which sounds eerily similar to anybody who's been in 65 days in a wake up. So I just had coffee with a guy named Adam, who I connected with for the first time today. Awesome guy, and I put my note in there, so I've got all my details on him, and I still have one more that I've got to get before the day's out if I'm going to hit my goal for 65 days in a wake up, which is my daily operating rhythm, and what we want all of us to have is our daily operating rhythm. So this is 65 days in a wake up, in this way of life that we think is not just a habit, but is what every one of us should do day in and day out, is literally the crux of what we do in this app. And we make it dead simple. And so every time that somebody pops into your head, whether you meet somebody new, you tap that little plus sign down there at the bottom. You can set your reminder to just follow up with them on the spot. You can create a brand new contact in the app, or you can start recording a note on somebody there on the spot. And so all of it is 100% tied together into what we're trying to do. And that's the name of the game. So Dad, you've been a power user on this. What do you want to add to it? What do you want me to show in terms of what we're working on here?
What I want to add is I'm good at follow-up, and it's made me at least 25% better. And where it really, a guy named Lawrence Pillars is in Lorene Williamson's organization, and the kid fell off a balcony and hurt himself. And this morning I heard about it last week. I sent him a nice note, and in the follow-up, I would have never thought about him again. I'm sure of it. I would have made a conscious decision to follow up on him because I cared about him and I would have been empathetic, but it would have gone through my empathetic filter and out to the universe. This morning I get up, I see that Lawrence Pillars, I had set the thing for 1 week. I saw Lawrence Pillars again, and I hit the button, and it said, follow up with Lawrence about his son. I immediately hit the button that said text him. I wrote him a nice note asking how his son is doing. I sent his wife a nice note. Both of them were just absolutely overcome. And so that's point one that I love about it. It's made me a better follow-up person. But going back to Lexi. So Adrian is in a business that has ketogenic and gluten attributes to it. So he's in the nutrition business. So if if all of a sudden something happens whereby, or Adrian's going to take a vacation to San Diego, any one of those three, all he's got to do is go into his phone and put on that search bar San Diego, gluten, keto, and every one of those things with those three things, it's going to be searching your database like you search Google. So you're going to be able to sort like an absolute wild man. So I've got everything, I'm a Tesla guy. I love Teslas. So anybody that knows anything about Teslas, I guarantee you I've got a database built on you, whether it's Jared Maidenberg down in Texas, or Michael Hamburger down in Arizona, or Michael Burnoff down in Arizona, Michelle Wallach in San Diego. All I put in is Tesla, and I've got all the Tesla owners, so I can get feedback from them about things going on. Denise is passionate about all kinds of stuff that is not what I'm passionate about. So she maps into her database what's important to her. And when you're mapping people, you're trying mostly to get keywords. That's the key. So the search is over the top, because it will absolutely let you contact map and triangulate literally everybody. And that's the key to this thing. So it's going to be crazy cool. Yeah, Jeff Barassa. No. The answer is yes and no, Jeff. And Adrian is a piker. He's an amateur. He's absolutely horrible. Unscreenshotted, age.
Okay.
So in my phone, you can see that where am I? Can you guys see my screen, age?
Yes.
You guys can see that there's almost a picture tied to everybody on my phone. I live because I'm not smart enough to remember your name. And it's just not the way my mind works. But if I can look in my phone and see Claire Bergman or Kelway, if I can see Claire Kelway on my phone, or Bob Dossman, I'm going, Bob, what the heck's Bob's last name? And all of a sudden I pop Bob Dossman, and all of a sudden I see his face. In my mind, it goes from so many different places because your memory triangulates in so many different ways. And it's too funny. I'm going to read you this text this morning, because one thing that makes me crazy is when I try to track you down, I look on your Facebook wall and there's a picture of your dog Muffy, or some picture of you in the 4th grade. And I don't want that. I want a picture of you now. Let me find this guy. What the heck was his? I know his name. I'm not going to tell you his name. But it was so funny. Okay, here it is. So this morning I said, send me so I mapped him, but I didn't have a good picture of him, and he had a goofy picture on Facebook. I said, send me a selfie right now, because I wanted to see what he looks like right now, because I wanted to feel like I was talking to him on the phone. I wanted to actually be with him. And he said, I hate selfies, Tom. About a year ago, like an idiot, I was chewing on a piece of ice, and my tooth next to my 2 front teeth on the left popped out, and I haven't been able to fix it yet, so I don't have any teeth in front. So he's very self-conscious about it. But that's how adamant I am. And I believe it or not, I would love to have a picture of the guy, how he looks, because I feel like I can talk to you if I can see what you look like now. And that's why I'm so in love with what we're doing in here. I can see you. And that's why I love those of you I can see Darnell Keith in those beautiful glasses she's wearing right now. And I can see Amy Bozen in the way she's playing with her screen. And I can see George Marsh, and I can see Ruth Ellen Sanchez. That's what's so beautiful about this. So it brings you into focus for me, and we become real with one another instead of a bunch of pictures from prom. I don't want a picture from prom. I want to see you like you are, unless, of course, you're like Rock Rice, who was on here that one week, and he was in the bathtub, and I had to send him a private note, but he's on here today. Hello, Rock. It's so cute. We love you. There he is. How you doing? You're dressed and not bathing. That's beautiful. And I said Ruth Ellen, I think. Oh, hi, Ruth Ellen. I thought I mispronounced your name. Does it track when you call and text? Yeah, everything is, and that's all coming. When these apps get brand new, you would be astounded at how many moving parts there are. But with what I've got going on, everything's time-stamped. Because I want to know when I call you. I want to know when I missed a call from you. I want to know when I talked to you. I want to know when I emailed you. I want to know when I texted you. So all of that is coming. Every one of those are a layer inside of programming on a new app. And believe it or not, it is a whole lot more time-consuming, harder, and expensive than you think it was, and it's worth it. And we are going. Can I tell them what the cool part's going to be, Adrian, or not?
No.
No? Okay. So here's what I always do. It's hilarious. What I always do, I know what we're doing, and it's going to take time, but I always know where this thing's headed and how it's going to be great for you. But what I do is I always announce that it's coming, and it's probably about $5 million in 5 years down the road, but it's going to be cool. So that is so funny. So Adrian said, please, Dad, don't do that, because then when I do it and it doesn't do it, then you guys are all pissed off at Adrian, and I have to take the blame. Hello, Keith, and the beautiful Colleen. It's good to see you. So anybody else got any questions or feedback? Adrian, so you know, came out of the tech world. So he understands this world. He understands the Y Combinator thing. Him and this Doug Coe that's also on here were roommates at Trinity University down in San Antonio, Texas. And these kids are high achievers at a level that you wouldn't believe. And Adrian came from, this is a pretty funny story, Adrian came from Zurich, Switzerland, from a high-level job where he realized with every increment of pay that he got going up, his quality of life went down. And it's really inversely proportional. And he realized after he became director of international finance for this company, Rackspace, that he was going to be worth a lot of money, but he was going to be a miserable son of a gun and a non-existent father. And he basically walked away from corporate America to come home and build this app, not believing in a million years he was going to fall in love with network marketing. And at the end of the day, both of them happened. And I'm so excited for him. So, and yesterday, I want to tell you one more story, and then we'll play the game that we all love called Let's Call Somebody If You Want. And at the end of the day, yesterday, you guys know I hang around with nothing but misfits. I love them. All my friends from AA and all the various characters from Longmont. So yesterday I'm driving down Main Street. Denise is doing something. I'm extremely lonely. So I call a couple misfit friends of mine and ask them to meet me down at Five Guys for lunch. So I'm headed down there, and I pull into Five Guys, and I know it's going to be just a normal crew. And there's Adrian standing out in front of the place instead of Zurich, Switzerland. And it made me feel so good that I get to hang around with my wife and my kids and that. And that's what this is all about. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, Liz. Yeah, Liz. Here's what you do. Yeah, that's exactly right, Liz. Okay, so here's the deal, everybody. What we all do is what Liz just talked about. So Liz just... Oh, that is so funny, Pamela, it does. So Liz does...
If people are calling in, they don't know what you're talking about, so maybe repeat the question.
So Liz does what everybody does. She meets somebody, she puts their phone number in there, She puts their name in there. She types, nice to meet you. Here's some information. And then she goes to bed. And 4 days later or a month later, she looks at her phone like we all do and say, who the heck is this person? I have no idea. That's what we all do. And we put their name and their phone number in, and that's it. No. If you map those people, it's unbelievable. And Adrian and Denise and everybody will tell you, and John Clark, everybody, I literally look at people. I point my camera at them. It's aimed at them. And that's when I said, do you mind if I take your picture? I'm already aimed. I've probably already hit the button. But at the end of the day, I do that. And no one ever minds. All they go is, most of the time, do you know what they say to me? Oh, geez, do you think you could take another one? That one's not so good. I can't think of one person ever, and I've been doing this forever, that has ever said, please don't take my picture. Would you erase that? They take it as a compliment that you care enough about them. And they say, why are you taking my picture? And you say, because I want to remember you. That's all you do. And then when you get done, you brain dump it. I swear, it'll sync with your phone contacts. Yes, it's going to sync with you. It's going to merge it. It's going to merge, CJ, with your phone contacts. Yeah, it's going to be like that. It's going to, your phone contacts are going to go straight into contact mapping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So what it specifically is doing, CJ, is what we want to do is take your address book in your phone that is basically just sitting there, that has only a few things and maybe a couple of notes that you've accumulated, and we want to bring it to life by having you put those notes and those follow-ups in there every time you're interacting with somebody, so that you always know what your next touch point is, and nobody's ever falling through the cracks. That's the magic of what we're doing. And so then like he said, you go back and look at that text message, you have no clue who that person is. Instead, you're looking in contact mapping and it says, I met him at the grocery store. We talked about this. And you go right back to that point of relatedness about how you met that person, what the context is, and you can keep following up until they're ready to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. And no, if you don't have a flip phone, Jeff, if you have a flip phone, go sell that $50,000 car I just saw you buy, that truck, and go get a flip phone. That truck's doing you no good unless you're a garbage collector. And I know you're not. Oh, man, I don't look very good. I just saw myself on the big screen. This is horrible. We got to get off of here. An 081 F-150. Go buy an 07 F-140, save $1,000 and buy an upgraded phone. Tip from Tom. Okay, let's see what else I want to rant about. Look at poor Doug Coe cooking dinner. That's so cute. All right, what else was I going to show you? Oh, I was thinking of somebody. You guys want me to call somebody just because you use the contact mapping as
answer CJ's question, because that's a good one too.
Okay. And ask questions.
Adrian can. He's ready to
Okay,
go.
5 guys. Hey, this is not a health seminar.
Not that question.
Listen to this. So I gave up gluten, I gave up sugar, and I gave up grains. So if I gave up gluten, sugar, and grains, what do you think I ordered at 5 Guys?
An egg burger.
With some lettuce on it. So give it up. Go look in the mirror. I can't believe it. It irritates me.
All right. So
Thousands of cons. CJ's.
Yeah.
Adrian, tell CJ how many contacts I have on my phone.
18,000.
18,000. So CJ, have you got more than that? If it does, you need to get rid of some.
No, but so what he's saying, and this has come up a couple of times, so I think it's great that you raised this. And Pamela had this exact same question in conversation, which is, I've got 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000 or 18,000 contacts in my phone. I'm intimidated by the idea that contact mapping would pull all those contacts in because I'm overwhelmed. There's too much stuff there. Is it going to make me map all these people? Is it going to force me to do all this stuff? What's going to happen when all those contacts come in? And the answer to that is that what we want to do is give you that whole universe of everybody that you know, which is a tremendous asset. We want that whole thing available to you, but the app's not going to go and force you to go and map anybody that you don't want to map. It's not going to force you to follow up with anybody that you don't want to follow up with. It's just going to, instead of you being forced to pull these things in one by one or go and pick them or do all this crazy stuff, it makes it dead simple for you, because what you're going to do is just like in your address book, you've got 2,000 names in that address list, but you go pick the one that you want to talk to and you go find them in the list and you call them. It's nothing more than that. So it's there for you to maximize, but the ones that you don't want to talk to are not going to get in your way. They're just there. So it is, I promise you, once you get in there, you're going to realize that it's nothing to worry about. And it's actually a huge convenience factor, because what you get out of that is that everything is staying perfectly synchronized, which is the big problem that you run into with a lot of these other solutions out there, is that you end up getting this fragmented thing that the two drift apart. Everything stays together, and that's really, really critical to making sure that you stay on top of everybody.
Does that make sense, everybody? And Nick Mangeras said the same thing. So I ran into Nick Mangeras at a restaurant called Aunt Alice's. And Nick Mangeras is not only a network marketing legend, he is also a car aficionado. So he was in that restaurant with a guy that is a old car, like classic car expert. So Marianne, if you can find Nick, I want him to tell the story. Hi, Nick.
Hey, Tom.
How are you, buddy?
I'm just doing fine. I'm enjoying everything that I'm hearing, and I'm making little notes on the side here. I wish I had this contact mapping. I could do contact mapping for the show.
When you got started, it was Alexander. You were working with Alexander Graham Bell, buddy. It wouldn't work like that. You and I are both dinosaurs. So, Nick, how old are you now?
Right now, very soon to be 75.
Is that can you guys believe your eyes? Is this the cutest thing in the world? So, Nick, what happened in Aunt Alice's?
Well, number one, I was shocked when I walked in and I saw you, and I thought, oh, no, I just heard about Tom, and he's really paying attention to his weight, and he's paying attention to his health. And I saw him over there, and the first thing I did was look over his shoulder to see what he was eating. I got to tell everybody that's watching this, he had fruits in a bowl right in front of him. I was so impressed with what was going on. So don't just attach the name of the restaurant with what Tom is eating, because when I was at Aunt Alice's, I was absolutely shocked. And let me tell you, they've got the greatest, greasiest food you've ever seen. He wasn't even touching it. So back to the story. I walk in with this friend of mine named Al, who is probably one of the greatest guys there ever was on Corvettes in northern Colorado, and just absolute longtime friend. I've known him for almost 30 years. And so we sit down and we're eating, and Tom comes over and we introduce everybody and exchange hellos and greetings and so on. And Tom talks about a car that he had. And before I realize that Tom has his phone out just like this, and he brings his phone up and snaps this photo of Al. And he says, now your name was Al? Yes. And so he reaches down and he does something on his phone. He's got Al's information in there. And so he says, so tell me a little bit about yourself. He talks for just a couple minutes, and of course I elaborate on it because he's a close friend, and he truly is a wizard when it comes to mechanics and Corvettes. And so Tom's, as fast as he can, he's putting this information in, and he's talking in the phone, and he's doing all of this kind of stuff. Very graciously, very nice to meet you. And we talked for just a couple minutes, and it was not, but I'm going to tell you, that later that afternoon, I got a text from Tom that somehow he got reminded of our meeting and his introduction to Al, and saying, hey, tell me what Al's last name was. And I was just absolutely blown away that he would remember that much. But now I understand why, and I am eager to get on this system. So, Adrian, you got a home run grand slam here. It's a real winner.
So stay with me for this conversation with Nick, because that's Nick's prospect in network marketing. So what good would that prospect do me? In network marketing, zero. But I want to bring cruising back to Longmont. Longmont used to be like the best cruising place. And so this guy was the founder of one of the hot rod clubs back when cruising was in vogue. He told me who the problem was in the city, a guy named Mike Butler, who's a good friend of mine. And he said, man, if we could just get to Mike Butler, we might be able to bring all this back. So I wanted all his information because I need somebody to work on old cars. I want to bring cruising back to Longmont. I want to drop this guy's name on my meeting. And next time I'm in my meeting with Mike Butler, it all goes full circle if you people will stop being so one-dimensional. Just because they're not going to, this guy's not going to sign up with me. He's in Nick's business. He's not a prospect for me. I'm so one-dimensional. I have no more use for this human being whatsoever. I am going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, you don't do that, Ansley. You don't. You keep mapping. These are human beings. You never know where you're going to maybe be able to help those people, or those people are maybe going to be able to help you. That's the beauty of contact mapping. And it gets you out of that place in your life where you're looking at everybody like they're a prospect. Don't you hate that? It's disgusting. It's revolting. It's selfish and it's self-centered. Get into conversation about their favorite subject as fast as you can and know that their favorite subject is them. Get into what's in it for them instead of what's in it for you and map them. So what Adrian didn't tell you is that when you go to bed tonight, this app is going to say to you right here at the very top, you unlogged, you see the word unlogged? It's going to say you've got 5 unlogged conversations today, Tom. Are you sure you want to go to sleep without mapping these people and putting in what you talked about? So you're constantly in integrity. You're constantly mapping them. And there's nothing to it because you're speaking into the thing. You saw how that dictated with Adrian. And this is not hooked on phonics. It's your language. It's the way you say things. Nobody else is reading it, so you don't have to cross your T's and dot your I's. You just have to get it in there so you can remember what you said, and it's saved, and you're off to the races. Is that cool enough? Adrian, I'm sure there's a bunch of comments. I see a pile. What did I miss?
Yeah, we've been talking about a lot of them here in the comments and responding to them. So Lorenzo asked, and just for anybody that's not on the chat or on the phone, Lorenzo asked, how much is it going to cost? So beta is free. So so one of the things that's awesome as part of the 65 Days in a Wake Up community is that you're going to get access to the app for free for an extra period of time before anybody else is even going to have access to it. But once we release it to the general public, from that point forward, you'll still get an extra 30 days free on top of that, which is something that we do for every new user. And then after that, and thank you, Ruth Ellen, for that, we really wanted to make it affordable. We want this to be something that literally everybody can use, that cost is never a concern about it. And so it's $10 a month, or if you want to, you can save a little money and you can do $100 and sign up for a full year upfront. So really, really affordable. The name of the game is that we just think that this is something that is going to level the playing field and really change the level of effectiveness for anybody that uses it. And that's really where this motivates from for us more than anything. And so we wanted to make sure that nobody ever felt like, I'd love to do this, but I can't afford it.
And so many of you are, when you first got into 65 Days in a Wake Up and you started interviewing people and you're going, I don't know how I'm going to find 2 people a day to talk to. So now you're all sitting out there with 130 people that you've mapped, and you've got follow-up running out of your ears, and you don't know whether you're coming or going because you didn't have a system in place to be able to keep track of what you sent, who you called, the whole shot. We just changed the price of poker 1,000%. Every one of you are going to be able to do this. Every one of these you're going to own your database. Your database isn't your contact. Your database isn't going to own you. That's what's so cool. This is your best asset. I can ask any of you for anything. If I ask Paul Croto about John Maxwell, he is going to throw up on me, man. I'm going to learn everything there is to know. He's a John Maxwell coach. He's just going to start talking. I call Lanny Sharp and I ask her about Oakley, Kansas, and get ready. Get your sleeping bag because you're going to be talking forever. You talk to Doug Coe about anything to do with the law or financial planning, you might as well get a pillow. I ask any one of you for your database and your contact list, and you're telling me to go jump in a lake. Yeah, Android's fine. Yeah, you're going to own it. That's what's so cool. Now, is there a learning curve? Short, because here's the entire philosophy here. Here's how an app has to work. I don't know the answer. Nick, Nick, who asked that question? You don't even know what that question even meant. Here's the deal. Is it resident on my phone, or is it a remote site that my phone reaches out to? Answer that, Adrian, because I have no idea. That's like Chinese.
So the way that it works is that we back up your notes to our servers only for the purpose of being able for you to be able to access them, right? So if you dropped your phone in a lake, we do not want all of those notes that you have recorded to disappear. So we put them we back them up to our server. Everything is completely anonymized. So we had something with Tom Chenault's 18,000 contacts causing a little bit of a problem with scalability. And so we had to go and fix that. And literally, even in his case, where obviously, he's like, get in there however you want, go look at whatever you want. We cannot go and access the content of his notes in any way that's tied to him at all. So everything is completely anonymized. We want to make sure that nobody ever has any concern. Our fundamental principle is that your database is your most valuable asset and that it belongs only to you. So that is totally what goes into everything about how we have designed all the systems and everything, but we have it synced to our server so that we can back it up and so that we can in the future be able to do really cool stuff like we met Al or whatever his name was, who's the Corvette guy, that it actually, when Tom types Corvette into his phone, that it actually goes, Al should meet this guy and this guy and this guy because they're Corvette enthusiasts or whatever it is. So that's where we're going, but it's all going to be contained within your database so that nothing ever gets shared out. It's all about enhancing your experience and helping you to be more effective in building your network.
Adrian, thank you. I really appreciate it. You gave me more detail than I had inquired, but I know there's some guys that are a little bit more techie than myself that may have that kind of a question. So, Tom, I apologize, but
that was awesome. I just couldn't imagine you even
for a son who gave the appropriate answer that I was looking for. Thank you.
No, that was awesome. You're a wizard, Nick. I just had no idea you were so computer literate. It was shocking. So shocking for us old guys. Let's see what else I want to see here.
So there's a question in there about Trello. So let me talk about that a little bit.
All right.
So there's a pretty good sized group of you, especially in 65 Days in a Wake Up, who have been using Trello and a solution that we helped to build around that as kind of a prototype for contact mapping while you've been waiting for the app. And we are going to follow through on our promise that we are going to create the solution for you to port what you have done in Trello into contact mapping. We have been running so hard on getting this beta out that we don't have that quite ready yet. So that's something that we're still working on getting finalized, but we will get your stuff over from Trello into the app. So there's nothing to worry about from that perspective. If anybody's asking about whether it will interact with Trello, once we port everything over, you're going to work in contact mapping. You won't need Trello anymore. And so they're not linked together. That's kind of the way that it'll work, if that makes sense.
Just gets cooler by the minute, everybody. I'm telling you, it is going to blow your mind when you get really, really, really good at this thing. And I don't know about Jim McCormick asked a question. Can you segment out your database so only a few of them go over to your contact mapping age? Can we do that yet? Because I've never tried that.
No, so that kind of tied into that same question from CJ. So the answer is no, in terms of the way we've set it up is to make sure that it stays in sync with your database. However, what I think we're going to do in the future, and it's pretty high on the priority list actually, is to make it where we make it really simple for you to tag certain contacts in whatever way you want. So if you want to be able to say, these are my longevity contacts, and then filter to only look at my longevity contacts, for example, we're going to make that easy for you. That's something that won't be there on day one in the app, but I think it's something extremely useful for a whole variety of reasons. And so that's high on the list of features that we're going to look to release pretty quickly.
So Pamela Schwartz, having gone to Harvard, gone through 65 and a wake up, which was harder than your education at Harvard, and had all those leads in your system, what will this do to you in your interviewing and your follow-up?
Huge. This is tremendous, because the thing that was missing was that follow-up piece. This is the next phase. So if you can think of it as, okay, I've gone through 65 and a wake up. And by the way, those of you who have not gone through 65 and a wake up yet, or are in the middle of it, this is going to catapult you into a greater level of success, because before we were using it on paper, however we could do it. I've got notes and things of, different people all over the place. And, I'm now putting everything together into this and working with contact mapping. It's so easy to just be able to click on that little voice icon and say, I met with this person. I promised that I would give them a call on this day, and set the timer for the day and time that it was going to happen, or for the date that it was going to happen, and then be able to go through and have that information all handy in one place. This is humongous for me. So I am, piecing it all together now from the work I've done in the past, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to, tremendously expand my business and help my team.
Jane Stoddard, I'm going to you right after I talk to Denise. We just bought a new home. You guys know that. So there was a pool party, a neighborhood party. And Denise and I went out there, and it was full of our new neighbors. Do you remember that, Denise? Yes, you do. And
I didn't know I was unmuted. I was like, yes, I do.
And so what happened then?
Well, we were introducing ourselves, as you do, at a cocktail. Well, it wasn't a cocktail party. It was 4th of July is what it was. And and this woman looks at me, and I said, hi. Oh, no, she said, hi. She said, Deborah. I think she said Deborah. And I said, Deb Bartlett? And she looked at me, she goes, yeah. And I go, Denise Towner. Actually, I was Denise Ciani at the time. And she looked at me anyway. This was my boss at my very first big girl job when I was out of college with Career Track. And she was my manager back in, it would have been probably 1989. And I was a mailing list broker. We were buying and selling mailing lists. That's back in the day that people actually read their mail when they got it. And anyway, so it was just so funny because now we're neighbors. She lives 2 doors down.
But the fact of the matter is, we mapped literally, so you keep
everybody. I have a whole map of the neighborhood with names.
Everybody you meet them, you can't remember anything. But if you'll just walk away and speak it into your phone, you have got everybody literally mapped. So when you see them again, you don't look like a blithering idiot. That's the beautiful thing about it. And it's got nothing and everything to do with network marketing, but it's got everything to do with, you're going to own your life. That's what's so cool. Think about the soccer game or anywhere you're hanging out, at church. Look how many people fall through your fingers because you just can't keep track of everybody. If you're snapping pictures and brain dumping, I promise you, you are going to be ahead of the game. That's all.
You know what's funny too is last night at, I think it was last night, somebody said out loud, they said, my biggest problem is, and it wasn't, this had nothing to do with network marketing. She said, my biggest problem is I believe that I'm going to remember something without writing it down. And that's my problem too. You know, I remember a week ago thinking to myself, because I didn't have a pen handy and my phone was in the car, and I kept repeating in my head over and over his name, his wife's name, his son's name, and his daughter's name, thinking, I got this. I have it memorized. And sure as heck, Tom just said when we sat down there last night, he goes, what's the daughter's name? I go, Lauren. And he goes, what's the son's name? And I'm like, oh, I couldn't remember it.
Neither could I, but I mapped it. So I just looked at my phone and I said, his name's Derek.
He had his phone.
But the name of the game, you guys, is map everything. So what else do you want to know? What do you want me to do? You want me to call somebody? You guys all love that. Okay. So I'll do this for you because I love you. So this guy called me today. I'm just looking through my phone right now. There's a guy here that called earlier, 407. So I was in a hurry. I grabbed his number. I don't even know his name. So this is as cold a person as could possibly be cold. Do you guys want me to show you how to drop him off right where he wants to be? Or LCS, that's exactly right, Todd. Let's call somebody. So we're going to drop this guy right where he wants to be, not right where I want him. So the name of the game, I don't even know his name. So that's how good a contact mapper I am. But did you see the lack of hesitation here?
No.
Hello, Devin.
Thank you for calling. Please leave your number, a time that I can get back with you, and I'll call you as soon as possible.
Hey, it's Tom Chenault. You called me earlier about trying to figure out where to buy plant-derived minerals, and I sent you a website, and you said you were going to call me back, and I am still waiting, and I really want to talk to you. So please call me back as soon as you can, and thanks for calling me earlier. Bye-bye. So I put a little on him, tried to make him feel a little guilty, and so that was just brilliant. Let's see what else I'm going to call.
Did you hang up?
Of course.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this guy.
That has happened before where he has not hung up, so that's just FYI.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. One of the problems with sticking up things up on Facebook is I'm always worried that the guy I'm calling is already on this webinar. So I don't want to get caught here. Okay.
Did you dial?
No, I'm looking to see if the guy's on here.
Oh, I was like, Adrian, you did a great job.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. Some guy accidentally called me with the wrong number today, and I prospected him. That was pretty fun. All right, we're gonna call this guy that just sold us life insurance. Is that okay with you, Age? Is that a good idea? Hey, Joe, how are you, buddy?
Hello, Tom.
Hi, Joe, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I did not realize I had a set meeting with you today at 10 o'clock. I wish I would have put that in my new contact mapping app.
Oh, no problem. And I double checked, and just yesterday I sent you a text and you said anytime after 9.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, but you know me. I'm rarely at that office, so just give me 15 minutes notice. Don't just stop in because otherwise I'm not there. I'm usually when you're 66 years old, you're probably taking a nap or something. So sorry about that.
No, I do that at 51.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Not a problem because I know you're busy.
And I really,
I'm reading it.
which one? Yeah, I gave you the GoPro and I also gave you the 4-year career. And
It was just a 4-year career that I was given.
yeah. Oh, she didn't give you she didn't give you 2 books?
No, it was 1 book, but I can stop by again.
Oh, yeah, well, maybe, why don't I call you in the morning and you and I and Adrian will sit down, because I'm telling you, he's in the same place you are. I mean, he was climbing, just like you, at the top of the ladder, and, you know, looking at your life saying, you know what, is this all there is? And I want to retire rich, and how am I going to do it? And that's exactly what he was thinking too. So let's just all sit down tomorrow and figure out how to make a really synergistic conversation happen.
Yep, that can work. What time tomorrow? Can you make it 9 or 10, or what do you think?
Let me look at my day timer.
Yes, because I know I got a 12:30 in Fort Collins, but all morning I'm available.
How about 10:30?
Yeah.
Okay, my office, 10:30. Do you want anything to eat? We can bring something in if you want some eggs from McDonald's or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, we'll figure it out.
A burrito or whatever it is.
All right, okay. Done deal. We'll have something there for you to snack on for your trip up the hill, and I'll see you in a little while.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for calling, Tom.
10:30. Love you. Bye-bye. Okay, the guy from Florida just called back. How'd that go? Okay? Just set the meeting. Just set it. Ask for the order. This is 2 interviews a day, 1 3-way call. This is like shooting fish in a barrel. That wasn't the right number. Oh, that was the real estate agent that sent me that tried to sell me the deal. That was the wrong guy that I just hit the button on. Okay, this is the guy that wants to buy the minerals. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to interview him. I have no idea who this guy is. Okay, you guys are going to notice I'm going to take him away from the product. Ask him questions.
Hey, Tom, this is Jim.
Hey, Jim, how are you? What is your last name?
Housman.
How do you spell it? Hoseman?
Housman.
Okay, good. And thank you. Thanks for calling me. So what's going on with your health that you might need some plant-derived minerals?
If you name it, I got it going on. Heart attack, stroke, overweight, diabetic. Life is good.
I'm your twin brother. How old are you?
I am 54.
54, and you've got a heart attack, a stroke, and diabetes already?
What happened is the heart attack was silent, and I didn't have insurance, so I never went to get my heart checked, and it put my heart in the AFib, and that led to the stroke. And fortunately, I had insurance then. That's how they found out I had a heart attack. I got type 2 diabetes. You know, it's nothing major. It's under control. But one thing led to another because I wasn't going to stop.
Goodness. And what kind of work did you do all your life?
Oh, my gosh. Everything. You know, we own several companies, been in sales and different things, real estate. After the stroke, though, we had to, well, let me back up a little bit. We lived on the Space Coast here in Florida, and they shut down the Space Center, and so everyone lost everything over there. Then I had the stroke, And I was at a job that was about an hour and a half away. And so we moved to Orlando area.
This is a total stranger.
And that's what I'm doing now. I'm a custodial supervisor.
And okay, so are you set for retirement, or are you still living day to day?
We're always living day to day. When I had the stroke, it took everything out of our savings. You know, it was devastating. We lost our house. We lost everything. It was due to the economy where we were also.
Oh, that sucks.
The housing market went from $110 a foot to $25 a foot in 3 years.
That makes.
Talk about in housing.
Are you married? Are you married?
I'm married. I got 3 boys. My wife is Polynesian, so all my sons are 6'4" taller.
Are they living close by, or where do they live?
I've got 2 at home, a 15-year-old and a 14-year-old, and my oldest one is at school in Hawaii.
Well, we can't have their dad die on them. I mean, number one, we have to get your health under control. Number 2, we have to get your money under control. And number 3, we got to get your happiness under control. So that I'm so happy you called me. How'd you find me?
My brother, he lives in Hawaii. He told me about, I guess he's partaking of the stuff, and he says, you need to try this out. I've tried other stuff out, and there's complications. I forget the name of it. There's that powdered greasy foot milk, but it's constipating you real bad, so I couldn't take it. I'm looking for something that, basically I can take. I don't mind not eating, but due to the medication I'm on, they got me on the special thyroid medicine, and I gained 85 pounds in 8 months.
Goodness, that's tough.
Right? At all. So right now I'm 6'3". I weigh 313 pounds, and due to the other situations with my health, I've got to cut this weight out. It's a major interest in my life.
You know what? Here's the deal. And I say this to, I haven't had a drink in 29 years. So I'm one of those guys. And back then when I got sober, I had to have the gift of desperation, because all I did was drink. And I had to ask God, the universe, to really, really change everything. And I got that gift of desperation to get sober. And recently I did the same thing around my health. And I was trying to out-supplement a bad diet. And I had to make changes, man. But I took one look at my grandkids. I took one look at my wonderful children and my wife. And I said, I am not going to die. And all I had to change was everything. So I plugged in more than ever to Dr. Wallach and his protocols, but I also really took on what I was putting into my body. And believe it or not, in 6 weeks, I'm a new man. And I am telling you, I feel better than I ever had, and I already thought I felt pretty good. So I'm going to send you a health survey to take right now. And I want you to take it. And I want you to send it to me. And we're going to start with your health, because we got to get you back on track health-wise, because we can't have you miss those kids growing up. So let's start there. We'll figure out how to help you out, figure out how to get you out of the trap, and then we'll worry about everything. Is that a deal?
Works for me. I'm going to try it.
All right.
My brother's he's been on this, I don't know, what do you call it? I mean, what do you call the product? What is taking?
I don't know. What is when I get off the phone, I want you to text your brother's name to me so I can look him up. Because if he got you rolling on this thing, I want to make sure that everything follows the right line of lineage. So send me your brother's name too. But no matter where he is, I need you to know that I will make you priority one, and I'll help you as much as I can.
Okay. I can deal with that. I appreciate it.
All right, man. I can't thank you enough. And I would tell you what to take, but you would just die. So we're gonna get you over to the experts, if that's okay with you.
Not a problem.
All right, man.
My wife about it, and like my wife is 53, and she's got to lose some weight for it. We got a wedding coming up in September. And if she likes what's going on here, she's gonna try it too. And and we may have two in one family real quick.
Yeah, and once it starts to work on you, you can lower the price by telling other people, and we'll help you with that too. So we're rolling, man, and I can't thank you enough for calling me.
Okay, my man. I look forward to getting your text.
All right, see you later. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon.
Okay. Yeah, so all the stuff about what to take, I never talk about. Even if I know the answer, I never talk about. Because I know one thing for sure, he's not going to believe me anyway. He's going to believe the tool. He's going to believe the expert. So I always go to the expert. So that way I'm not giving health advice. I'm not talking about anything. I'm just talking, all I wanted to get to was how his money was, how his health was. And you could tell I spoke exactly at his cadence. So we became friends instantly. And that's my only job in this thing, is getting related to this guy. So he likes me and I like him. Does that make sense? I hope. Good. All right. That's all we do. Nobody wants to know your experiences, Brenda. They don't care about you. They care about them. No one cares. That's one thing we all do, is we want to talk too much and tell our story. Do everything you can to not tell your story unless it pertains directly to something going on with them. That's all you're doing. So, boom, 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 boom. All right, I think we did it. This is a good day. Thank you for taking all those notes for me, Pamela. And yeah, so I may even know the answer. See all the stuff that you're sending me? Somebody's sending me all this stuff. No. No. You're giving health advice. You're not a doctor. If you're a doctor, I don't know who that woman is. If you're a doctor, that's great. Tell me right now you're a doctor. But otherwise, use the tools, because they're just going to Google you and check it out anyway. You don't want to do that. Let the tools do the talking. The tools have credibility. I promise you. There you go. Good, Brenda, whoever you are. This is awesome. How do you connect them to the expert? In my world, I use the health evaluation. If I want to drop that guy right where he wants to be, I did want to put a little hook in him to see if he needs more money, because what he said is he's owned several businesses. He sounded great on the phone. He's done all kinds of sales jobs. So what I've got is, we've got to get right now, the most important thing in the world to that guy is probably his health. So we got to get that under control, and then we've got to deal with his money. But I may call him on the phone in a day or so. He's going to say, my house is being foreclosed on, Tom. I got to go like crazy. You got any ideas there? And then you switch it all. But if you don't ask questions, you're never going to know. And I control all conversations with questions, not with answers. Does that make sense to you? It works. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I love you guys. All right. What time is it? Is it 5:30 yet? Are we done? Well, it's 5:38. All right, you guys have got to probably be sleeping. All right, everybody got their money's worth? You feel good about tonight? Anybody going to say anything before we go? Yeah. Good.
Great job, Thomas.
I love you all. Did you say great job, Tom, to me? Did you say that to me? Oh, so nice of you. I love you. I could just marry you. All right, I love you guys. With all of my heart.
Again and again and again. All right. Love everybody.
Interview 2, 3-way red.
Love you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Good call.
Bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Adrian.
Love you. Bye.
Unbelievable. This is so fun.
All right, we're out of here.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
Have a blessed night.
Have a great evening.
Thank you, Vincent. You too, Robin.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Bye.
I want to get them.